Every beat of my heart, Ya Hussein. Never leave us apart, Ya Hussein. What is left in us besides this great love and our hearts beat, Ya Hussein. Every beat of my heart, Ya Hussein. Never leave us apart, Ya Hussein.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my dear respected brothers and sisters and dear viewers of the Imam Hussein show. It's night 5. We are already halfway through. We are halfway through in counting the numbers and the days until that decisive day, the day of Ashura. We are 5 nights away from reliving the moment that Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam was seen preparing the walkway for the sabaya during the middle of the night. Brothers and sisters, this show is only for 10 days in the year. It only occurs during the 10 nights of Muharram, where you can have your name written on the flag of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And as always, joining me tonight is my dear brother Abu Talib.
Barakatuh. I welcome everybody and I urge everybody to give us a call and perform a ziyarah and be alongside Habib al-Madahir. It is his night, and it's the night of Aqeel. Give us a call and perform your ziyarah. Ensure that not only your name is being written in the flag, but it's also been written in the book of Habib, which he presents to Imam al-Hussein and says to him, Ya Aba Abdullah, these are your pilgrims. Accept them as your servants.
As my brother Abu Talib mentioned, tonight is the night of Habib ibn Mudahir al-Asadi and the night of Muslim ibn Aqeel. Both play a significant role in the battle of Karbala. Prior to the caravan arriving here, the beloved Muslim faced his own battle. A battle between him and himself. A battle to come out as a courageous man, or would he be remembered as the man who stabbed from the back? Because for us, we know that when Muslim bin Aqeel reached Kufa, he reaches Kufa and he's got all this support with him. But as we know, people slowly started to leave the side of Muslim bin Aqeel. But there was one situation that occurred in Kufa in which Muslim was staying in the house of Hani bin Urwa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala be pleased with him. And Hani tells Muslim, he says, Ubaidullah bin Ziyad is going to be at my house soon, and he's looking for you, Muslim. Muslim, when I say this word, you come out and you kill Ubaidullah bin Ziyad from behind. And then Ubaidullah bin Ziyad would not be a problem anymore, Ya Muslim. So when Ubaidullah bin Ziyad enters the house of Hani, he says, Hani, I know you're hiding Muslim. Hani, you've heard of the advances of Hussein bin Ali. Hani, I need you to give up Muslim. When the conversation occurs between them, Hani says the key word that means for Muslim to come out and kill Ubaydullah bin Ziyad. He says it once, nothing. He says it again, nothing. He says it a third time, nothing. So Ubaydullah bin Ziyad gets up and leaves. Hani goes to Muslim, he says, Muslim, I said the key word 3 times, why didn't you kill Ubaydullah bin Ziyad? He said, I remembered my Mawla, Abi Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, and the teachings of Amir al-Mu'mineen, my uncle, Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam. When he says, we the Ahl al-Bayt never begin the war. We face you. You strike first, then we strike. Otherwise, Kufa would have been in the hands of Muslim. Muslim would have taken Kufa, and Muslim would have had all the support. And Muslim would have created a safe haven for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. But that one principle that Al-Muhammad always stuck by, is that we never start the war. Is that we will never begin and we will never strike first. This was the mabda', the foundation of Al-Muhammad. But for Muslim bin Aqil, his tragedy is like all tragedies. When it comes to Karbala, subhanallah, he finishes his salah, he commences his salah. He's got around 1,000 people behind him, maybe 3,000 people behind him. Allahu Akbar. Goes down in his ruku', 500 remain. Goes down in his second ruku', 300 remain. Goes down in his third ruku', 50 remain. By the time he said Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, he looks around and it's empty. Deserted, betrayed, left for dead. And he writes a letter to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam as he has set forth to Kufa. He says, Ya Abu Abdullah, they've betrayed me. Ya Abu Abdullah, I'm alone. It's as if Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam replies to Muslim. And he says to him, my cousin, you're not the only one that's alone, because in a few days I will be alone. In a few days, I won't have anyone next to me. And then when he goes to that, he's walking around. And he wants water. He just wants water. Where is it? This is what he wants. This. How much we need it. And then imagine him stopping by a house. He stops by a house and he's sitting and he's looking left and right. And he's looking in front of him and he sits down to rest. And then the woman comes out of the house and she says to him, oh man, this is very beautiful. This is very, very beautiful. She says to him, oh man, what are you doing in front of my house? And he says, I just want some water. She comes and she gives him water. And then several minutes later, she comes out again and she says, oh man, what? I've told you to leave the vicinity of my house. He says, forgive me. I am a stranger in this land. Where are you from? Medina. Allah, she heard Medina. Medina? Who do you know in Medina? Where are you from? Which household are you from? What's your name? He said to her, my name is Muslim Ibn Aqil. Aqil. Which Aqil? The brother of Ali ibn Abi Talib. You're from the household of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi, and they've left you here? The people have deserted you? He says, yes, by Allah. And I'm sending a message to Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. Tawa. That was her name. Mu'minah. But unfortunately her son led to the death of Muslims. Inshallah, brothers and sisters, we begin taking your phone calls on this show, and we begin with the first phone call. We say Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam.
MashaAllah. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Hussein and I'm calling from Austria.
Brother Hussein from Austria. Brother Hussein, do you have any majalis in Austria?
Yes, we have.
Did you go to any tonight?
Yes, alhamdulillah.
Which musibah did you hear, my dear brother Hussein?
From the son of Imam Hassan.
Qasim.
Yes.
MashaAllah. Tonight on this show, brother, I want to bring the musibah of Muslim bin Aqil, inshallah, to you. Brother, could you imagine yourself surrounded by enemies that want your blood? Can you imagine the loneliness of Muslim?
Difficult.
Yeah. Brother, when was your last visit to Karbala?
I have never been there.
You've never been? Do you know who else didn't make it to Karbala? Muslim. Muslim never visited Karbala, my dear brother. What do you think was going through Muslim's heart, his mind? What do you think was going through it when he found out that he couldn't be there for Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam?
very sad.
Ahsan. Brother, I'm going to put the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in front of you. Number one, send your salams to his ambassador, but number two, send your salams to the man that was honored with his own grave inside the shrine. Bismillah, go ahead.
السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوصيين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين.
Jazakallah, my dear brother. I'm praying that one day you do make it to the land of Karbala and that you see for yourself the masa'ib that happened here. The masa'ib that happened here. It really brings you back down to earth. Jazakallah khair. Thank you for your call. We take the next caller on the line and say Assalamu alaikum. Disconnected. Do we have another caller? We have another caller. Assalamu alaikum. MashaAllah, my dear brother. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Sayyid Ali Musawi from Edmonton, Canada.
Sayyid Ali Al-Musawi from Edmonton, Canada. Sayyid Ali,
Yes, brother.
Aba Abdullah Al-Hussein alayhi salam is your grandfather, correct?
Correct.
How do you feel that your grandfather was killed? And that you as his grandson weren't there to protect him? Yeah. How do you feel that your auntie Zainab was killed and you couldn't protect her? Or she was hit, sorry.
The only thing that I could remember, brother, was he was alone in that land. He shouted, Kalman Nasri Ansurullah. Who is there by him? The only thing that I could remember was he was alone without a companion. The only thing that I could remember is that Hussein was alone calling out, I need water for my son. I need an Asghar, Abdullah al-Razi. But they refused, but they threw an arrow at the baby's neck. What an infant, brother. The only thing that Zainab saw, what a great words of Zainab al-Kubra that she saw on the hill after the Nabiya scene was him on the ground, and that may Allah curse Shimir. He sit on the chest of Mawla and took a dagger 12 times at the neck of Mawla. The only thing that I can remember, brother, I'll give all my praise to Imam Hussein today. I just want to say salam to my Mawla. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Sayyid al-Shuhada. Assalamu alaikum ya Gharib al-Karbala. Assalamu alaikum ya Ajhan al-Karbala. Assalamu alaikum ya Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. Sayyidi Shabab Ahl al-Jannah. Assalamu alaikum ya Abul Fazl. Assalamu alaikum ya Ajhan al-Karbala. Peace be upon their heads, was raised upon the spears. Peace be upon their hands, were separated from the arms of Abbas.
Assalamu alaikum, brother.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
I am Ali's mom.
Sister, what's your name? Let me just have, Can I have your name, please, my dear sister?
Hamida.
Hamida. Allah. The daughter of Muslim ibn Aqil. Sister, you're Sayyida, correct?
I'm not, but Ali, my son is Sayyid.
Your son is Sayyid.
I'm the servant for the family.
Sister, your son's uncles and your son's grandparents were slaughtered. Sister, Habib ibn Mudahar al-Asadi, Habib stood in front of the tent of Zainab. He was the sheikh of the companions. He was in charge of the companions. Sister, do you want to know what Zainab asked about Abdullah al-Hussein? She asked him about Abdullah, how do we know the companions are loyal to us? Imagine the fear of Zainab. She would say to him, my brother Abu Abdullah, are your companions going to protect me?
Yeah.
And Habib threw his turban on the floor. But sister, your name is Hamida. That was the name of the daughter of Muslim ibn Aqil. Imagine yourself as the daughter of Muslim ibn Aqil. Imagine your father goes out on a long trip, and then your uncle comes to you and he starts putting his hand on your head, and he starts gently stroking your head, and he says to you, my daughter Hamida, I am your father now, and my daughters, they're your sisters. Hamida, your father has been killed. Hamida, how much do you love your father? Hamida, could you imagine anything bad happening to your father?
I know.
La ilaha illallah.
It's very hard to me. It's very hard to me.
Yeah. Sister, I want you to look towards the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And I want you to send your salams to not only Habib but also Muslim ibn Aqil, the one whose daughter you are named after. Bismillah, go ahead.
السلام عليك يا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي هلت بفراقك. عليك من السلام والله والأرواح في توبتي الليل والنهار. ولا جعل الله خير الأسباب من زيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا أبا الحسن العباس يا ابن أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا حبيب عبد المسعود. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. I have a big hajat. This grateful has. If accepted, I will come. I will come again.
Sister, when was your last visit to the holy land of Karbala?
Just 3 months ago.
3 months ago. Allahu Akbar.
Yes.
Allahu Akbar. Sister, do you remember? Sister, do you remember standing on Al-Shara al-Qibla and seeing the minarets and the domes of Hussein? Sister, do you remember sitting in Bayn al-Haramain?
Yes.
Sister, do you remember walking over to Mawla Abbas alayhi salam?
Yes, I remember.
Sister, do you remember?
Every day, every night.
Sister, do you remember looking at that view you see on the screen right now?
Yes.
Sister, do you remember your tears when they fell in the holy land of Karbala? When you asked Mawla Abbas, Mawla, where were you when Zainab was struck?
Give me my hajat. I want to come again and again and again.
Allah.
Every year. I try to come to you every day, every year. I sacrifice everything I have. Ya Abu Abdullah. Ya Abu Abdullah, give me my hajat. Just I have your family. I don't have anyone.
Sister, have you been to the mukhayyam of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam? Did you go to the area where the tents were?
Yes.
Sister, did you imagine how the tents went up in flames on the day of Ashura?
Yes, I went to there. All the tent. Every night, every day. In my front of my eyes.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bring you back again and grant you a ziyarah, insha'Allah. And insha'Allah you drink the alqami water. And insha'Allah you obtain some khaka shifa. Inshallah. Jazakum Allah khair al-jaza. Thank you for your call. Salaam alaikum.
Thank you, brother.
Salaam alaikum. Inshallah, we take the next caller on the line and we say Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
Yes, Sayyid Mustafa Ali Hussein Abbas Faizan from Pakistan.
Sayyid Mustafa Ali Abbas?
Ali Hussein Abbas Faizan.
Ali Hussein Abbas Faizan. Sayyid. Are you with me?
Yes, Brother Minhal.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm with you.
Sayyid, which Imam does your lineage end with?
Imam Mahdi.
So you are one of the grandsons of
Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam.
Okay. Sayyid, how does it feel that you know exactly how your grandfather died a few generations, a couple of tens of generations back? You know exactly the details of how your grandfather was killed.
Yes.
And a fact that not many of us know. I don't know how my grandfather was killed. Neither does Abu Talib. Neither does anyone here who isn't a Sayyid. But you yourself, you look at your own father and you look at your grandfather, and then you go back generations until you reach Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, and you sit and you think, You think my grandfather was killed in this way? How does that not burn up in your heart?
It burns up. Tears start falling even at the mere mention of the name. The only thing that you remember, the only thing that any of us would ever remember would be the hardship faced by the al-Bayt alayhi salam, the hardship faced by the companions, the family, and the Imam himself on that day, on the 10th of Muharram. And I say this, Ya Imam Ali alayhi salam, may no happiness remain in my life, but do not take away the sorrow that I have for Imam Hussein alayhi salam away from me. Do not give me any happiness in my life. May I live a long life. Do not give me a single happiness in my life, but do not take away the sorrow, the pain that I have in my heart for Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Yesterday I was watching your show as well, and trust me, the way you, Brother Minhal, the way you recite everything with Brother Abu Talib, it brought tears to my eyes, and the tears, they didn't stop.
I want to bring tears to your eyes now.
For I believe 2 or 3 hours yesterday, and I watched the entire show, and I can assure you that the tears never stop. And I pray to God.
I want to bring tears to your eyes right now. Brother, I want you to imagine. I want you to imagine that your auntie Ruqayya, alayhi salam, is running on the hot sand and the sharp stones of Karbala. I then want you to imagine the worry of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam when she couldn't find Ruqayya. I then want you to imagine the worry of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam when she couldn't find Bibi Sakina. I then want you to imagine the worry of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam when Ubaidullah bin Ziyad wanted to kill Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam in Kufa. But above all of that, I want you to imagine the worry of Bibi Fatima alayhi salam for her daughter Zainab.
Indeed.
I want you to imagine Bibi Fatima tonight is walking holding a broken rib right here. And I want you to imagine her walking towards the shrine of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. And just imagine her walking and sitting down and just saying, I'm looking for the Ansar of my son. I'm looking for those who are going to avenge the blood of my son. Brother, Bibi Fatima is your grandmother, correct?
Indeed, indeed.
Sayyid, I just want you to look towards the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And don't recite the normal ziyarah that everyone recites. Speak to him like he's your grandfather. How would you speak to your grandfather? Go ahead, speak to him.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Rasulullah. Assalamu alayka ya Khirat Allah wa Ibn Khiratih. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Amir al-Mu'mineen wa Ibn Sayyid al-Wasi. Assalamu alayka ya Ibn Fatima al-Zahra Sayyidat al-Nisa al-Alimin. Assalamu alayka ya Thar Allah wa Ibn Thar wal-Witr al-Wali. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah wa ala التي بفنائك عليك مني سلام الله الأبدم ما بكيت وبقي الليل والنهار ونجعله الله الآخر الأخذ من السنة. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي الحسين وعلى الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. السلام عليك يا قمر بني هاشم يا سكاي سكينة يا ساكي راش كربلاء يا حجاب زينب يا باب الهوائج يا قمر بني هاشم. السلام عليك يا جناب أبو الفضل العباس بن أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام. اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الخروج وثبتني قدم صدق عندكم الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا مهجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام. بأبي أنت وأمي يا أبا عبد الله أنت وأمي يا ابن رسول الله يا
Brother,
مولا
tell
يا
your
سيدي
grandfather you want to visit him.
يا مولا يا سيدي يا مولا يا سيدي يا مولا. Please call me to the ziyarah soon inshallah.
Do you know what the
Please,
most...
Ya Mawla.
Do you know what's so beautiful, my dear brother Sayyid?
Yes, brother Minhal.
We all miss Aba Abdullah and Hussein alayhi salam when we're in our homes.
Yes.
But do you know what's more beautiful? Is that
What, brother?
Aba Abdullah and Hussein alayhi salam misses every single one of his grandchildren. You
Indeed.
are one of them.
Indeed.
So look at him and let him look back at you. How much do you miss your grandfather?
Indescribable. Ya Mawla, Ya Sayyidi, please call me to Karbala. Please call me, my mother, my sister, my father to Karbala soon, inshallah. Ya Mawla, Ya Sayyidi, you know I planned to visit you this year, but I didn't have the money. I don't have the money right now. Ya Mawla, Ya Sayyidi, please help me. Please help me reach the plains of Bain al-Haramain. Please allow me to perform the ziyarah standing in front of you. Please allow me to perform the ziyarah in front of Mawla Abbas al-Amdar al-Islam shrine. Please allow me to perform my namaz in your courtyard. Ya Mawla, Ya Sayyidi, please allow me to be among you. Please, Ya Mawla, Ya Sayyidi. The body will return back home, but the heart, the mind, the soul will remain in Karbala till the day of judgment, indeed, inshallah. The heart, the soul, the mind will remain over there for all of eternity. It will not leave that place. Ya Mawla, Ya Sayyidi, please call us.
Notice every time you feel upset, depressed, sad, your mind says, let me just be in the fragrance of Karbala. Let me just be in Bain al-Haramain.
Indeed.
Let me just have the opportunity to sit amongst my brethren, all those who share the same love that I do.
Indeed.
May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala
The
bless
tears,
you, my dear brother.
the tears that we have, the Shia of Imam Ali al-Islam. There are many Shia, thousands, billions, millions of Shia of Imam Ali al-Islam, but the only true Shia of Imam Ali al-Islam are those that Allah has given permission to their eyes and their hearts to feel the sorrow of his son Imam Hussein al-Islam. Those are the true Shia of Imam Ali al-Islam. Everyone can call them a Shia, but only the true ones are those that Allah has permitted their eyes and their hearts and their souls to cry for Imam Hussein al-Islam. And it is a privilege, it is the greatest honor for a human being on earth to cry for Imam Hussein al-Islam and the al-Bayt al-Islam. Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein, Labbaik ya Hussein. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Jazakallah, brother. Thank you for accepting my call. May Allah bless you. Jazakallah.
Thank you for joining us on the I Am Husseini show. Abu Talib.
We spoke about Muslim bin Aqil. But another character in Karbala that we learn of is Habib. Habib bin Mudahar al-Asadi. How great is this man that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rewarded him to be buried meters away from Imam Hussein's shrine. The narrations say that Habib bin Mudahar al-Asadi took place in the battlefields with the Prophet, peace be upon him. And he was also a great warrior in the battles with Amir al-Mu'mineen. And he was finally also honored to take part in the greatest of battles, the Battle of Karbala. This is where he was martyred, alongside the companions of Imam Hussein.
When Habib, you know, when we look towards the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, you can just imagine Abu Abdullah Hussein alayhi salam telling Habib, tells him, Habib, on the day of Ashura, he tells him, Habib, don't worry, your grave, ya Habib, it's going to be on my right. Habib, you're going to be right next to me, 75 years old. 75 years of age. And he kills over 60 of the tyrants. His story strikes. Why? Because from when he was young, his loyalty to the al-Bayt alayhim as-salam was shown. He went to live in the land of Kufa to be close to the vicinity where Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa told him, this vicinity, this area is where my grandson Hussein will need you. Many today will say, I can't live in another city because I'm so used to my city. Habib said, I'm going to go. I don't care if I'm used to Medina. I don't care if I'm used to any other city. I'm going to go to this land where Rasulullah has told me that his grandson will need me one day. Allahu Akbar. Inshallah, we take the next caller on the line and we say Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Disconnected. No problem.
You know, Minhal,
Yeah.
what is so great is that we always say that the one that sticks to Imam al-Hussein, Allah rewards him.
Yeah.
And the one that sticks to Ahlul Bayt will be rewarded.
Yeah.
And if you look between those two minarets and that shining dome, there is one man that is truly rewarded.
Ahsant.
It is Habib. Because every time somebody enters that shrine for Imam al-Hussein, you will automatically visit the shrine of Habib. What a lucky man he is.
Ahsant, Abu Talib. Brothers and sisters, we shall take the next call on the line and say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam. Assalamu alaikum, Ya Imam Hussein alayhi salam.
Ya Hussein. Brother, can I have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Syed Suleiman Shokat. I'm coming from New York.
Sayyid Sulaiman from New York. MashaAllah, the Sadats are calling a lot today. Sayyid, I can hear you're crying in the background.
My mother passed away last year.
Allahu Akbar. How old are you?
I'm 37-year-old.
37 years old. Losing a mother. Brother, do you know what the greatest present for your mother is right now?
Yeah.
Brother, reciting Ziyarat Ashura for your mother would be one of the greatest gifts you can give her. Just imagining losing my mother. Brother, how do you think Imam Hussein alayhi salam felt when he lost his mother?
I cannot explain in words.
So do you know now what I want you to do? I want you to, when you look towards the shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, and you look to the shrine of Ghazi Abbas, I want you to tell them that your mother is in their hands. That for them to take care of your mother in Barzakh. Speak to them, my dear brother.
Ameen. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum ya Abu Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. Ya Ibn Rasulullah. Ya Mawla Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Assalamu alaikum ya Mawla Abbas. Alamdar alayhi salam. Assalamu alaikum. Ya Ibn Abu Abdullah. Ya Amir al-Mu'mineen. Assalamu alaikum.
Brother, how much do you miss your mother? Did you used to go home and hug her?
I cannot describe it in words. My mother was everything for me. She raised me. She took care of everything.
You know, it's so difficult to imagine losing a mother. Your mother. What was your mother's name, my dear brother?
Sayyida Shagufta Shokat.
Sayyida
Shagufta Shokat.
Sayyida Shagufta. Brother, we've written her name on the flag of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. But tell me, for your mother, what did the al-Bayt alayhim salam mean to her?
Everything. Al-Bayt lives in her heart, in her soul. Al-Bayt is everything for my mother, for me, my father. my family, Mola Imam Ali alayhi salam, Mola Imam Hussein alayhi salam, Sayyidah Fatima Zahra salam alayha, Mola Imam al-Abdin alayhi salam.
Yeah. Well, brother Sayyid Sulaiman, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless your mother's soul.
Ameen.
And may Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam take care of her.
Ameen.
May she be with Sayyida Zainab and Fatima al-Zahra alayhim salam.
Ameen.
But just inshallah she's with them right now.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Being taken care of. Thank you, my dear brother, for your call. May Allah bless your tears. Abu Talib, can you imagine losing your mother? How much does your mother mean to you, Abu Talib? You know, when I done the show, My Journey to the Grave, our dear brother Hajj Mustafa Mas'oud really asked me about my mother. To every person watching this, no matter how much you think you know better than your mother, just know that one day she'll be gone. You, me, Abu Talib, everyone in the studio, none of us are special. I want you to, every time you think to say anything rude to your mother, just think that one day she'll be 6 feet under. I don't think any of us take care of our mothers enough. Can there be enough, Abu Talib?
There never can be enough. And you know what really hurt me is that every morning my mom WhatsApps me and she knows that I'm in Iraq, and she says, Abu, send my salam to Imam al-Hussein and say to him, I really, really miss him.
Allah.
And I go to the show and I say to Baba Abdullah, I've carried a salam from my mom. But I'm sure that Fatima al-Zahra would love to be present as well.
Allah.
And as much as my mom loves me, Fatima al-Zahra loves Hussein. I say to her, oh Fatima, did you witness your son's slaughter? Where were you standing? Were you standing next to the Mukhayyam, your eyes on the orphans and Zainab? Or were you trying to match the bodies with the beheaded heads of the Ansar? Or were you trying to show compassion to al-Baneen, where she'd lost Ghazi Abbas? Or were you worried about your Hussein, your son? Where were you standing, Ya Fatima? As much as we love our loved ones, if it's the love from a son to a mother, then how was Imam al-Hussein's heart when he witnessed her lying in front of him? And if it was the love of a mother towards her son, then how was Fatima al-Zahra's situation when she witnessed Hussein?
I'll tell you what her situation was. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alih was poisoned so was Hussein. Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib was struck with poisoned sword. Hussein was struck with hundreds of poisoned swords. Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam had her rib broken. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein had all his ribs broken. Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam witnessed the death of Imam al-Hassan alayhi salam and his father Amir al-Mu'mineen Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam and Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam and his grandfather Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi. You ask, how much can one take? There's two people that took more and saw more. Never forget Kulthum, my dear brothers and sisters. Sayyida Zainab alayhi salam and Kulthum. Sisters protecting each other. Protecting the orphans. And one orphan, the likes of Hamid, the daughter of Muslim. Inshallah, we take the next caller on the line and we say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you so much, respect.
MashaAllah. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
I am Mehnaz.
Sister Mehnaz.
Yeah.
Sister Mehnaz.
Yes.
How does the story of Muslim ibn Aqil, how does that sit with you? Sister, did you know that Muslim ibn Aqil also died thirsty?
Of course. Of course. It breaks me down.
Can you imagine that Muslim ibn Aqil is being taken to the top of a tower? And before he is killed, he says to the man, he says, I just want to pray salah. My last salah on earth. Muslim ibn Aqil does 2 ruku' shukr. But before they killed him, in between the finishing of salah and them killing him, sister, do you want to know what Muslim did?
Of course.
He stood on the rooftop and he faced Medina and he said, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. This is your cousin Muslim ibn Aqil, a stranger in this land. They have deserted me and they have left me. Do you want to know what happened from here, my dear sister, in the land of Karbala? Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam stands up and he says to him, he says, Wa alayka salam ya Muslim. Their final goodbyes, they couldn't hug each other. Sister Mehnaz, do you have a sibling that you're close to or a family member that you're very close to that you grew up with?
I have brother. My mother also used to pay her condolences and salutation.
Sister, just imagine You grow up with this person, with your family member, and then you can't even say your final goodbye to them. Is there someone else on the line with you?
Yeah, my mom is. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. Can I have your name and where you're calling from? Sorry, just your name. Sorry.
Ji Altaf Begum.
Altaf?
Begum.
MashaAllah.
Altaf Begum.
MashaAllah. How much do you love Zainab alayhi salam?
More than anything.
Is it to the point where your eyes tear up a bit when you remember her?
Of course.
If on the day of Ashura you were there, how would you have protected her?
Everything. I don't want my life anything. Not too much.
MashaAllah. Sister, the atmosphere, the shrine, the Zuwar of the Holy Land of Karbala are in front of you right now, and your voice is in the sacred land. Please go ahead, perform your ziyarah.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum ya Rasulullah. Hussein ya
Jazakum Allah khairul jaza. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you on these holy nights of Muharram. They only come once a year, and after that they leave us for another year. Thank you very much for your salam. Do we have another caller on the line? Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
MashaAllah. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Fatima and I'm calling from Australia, Sydney.
Fatima from Australia, Sydney. Fatima, when was your last visit to Karbala?
I actually haven't gone, but inshallah this year I am planning to go. I have put my name down to the group, but I've just heard back saying that the group is filled up, and they'll let me know today if they can fit me in. So hopefully there's some good news today.
Inshallah. Sister, let me explain something to you. Every year, a list of Zuwar is written by the angels of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. At some point, your name would have either been put there or not. What would your feeling be if your name wasn't put there by the angels?
I'd be really upset because this year I can't go again. Last year I prayed to Allah I could go this year.
Sister, do you anticipate your reaction when you see the dome of Imam Hussein alayhi salam?
Yes.
What is that reaction going to be like?
I can't explain it to words.
No?
It's beyond words.
Beyond words. It seems that your voice has made it to Karbala before your body physically. How does that feel to you?
Makes me feel good.
Does that give you a sense of relief that inshallah the group will have an open space?
Inshallah.
Inshallah.
There's always hope.
Now, look in front of you and just for 1 second close your eyes and just think of the feeling that you get to touch the window of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. That you get to touch it. MashaAllah. Inshallah, my dear sister Fatima, you will receive some good news today.
Inshallah.
Sister, I'm going to put the shrine in front of you as well as inside both atabas, Al-Husayniyya and Abbasiyya, so that you can actually feel the atmosphere. And inshallah, you get to be here physically to hold both windows of your imams. Bismillah, go ahead.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Rasulullah. Assalamu alayka ya khiyarat Allah wa ibn khiyarat. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Amir al-Mu'minin. Assalamu alayka ya ibn Amir al-Mu'minin wa ibn Sayyidi wal-Wasim. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثار والوتر الموتورة. السلام عليك وعلى أرواح التي حلت في النار عليكم جميعا. السلام على أبدا ما بقيت وما بقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله لقد عظمت رزية وجلت عظمت البصيرة بك علينا وعلى جميع أهل الإسلام.
ما شاء الله. Sister, we hope you send us good news today that you have been accepted to come to the holy land of Karbala, inshallah. Thank you very much for your call. We really appreciate it. Habib Abu Talib.
It's beautiful that lots of people try to make it towards the shrine of Imam Hussein. And Imam Hussein welcomes everybody. Yesterday when Mini was in the shrine, we saw that people had come from neighboring countries.
Yeah.
And I swear by Allah that somebody was speaking and I overheard him say that for him to make it for this Muharram, it costs him to sell his car, phone, and to take a loan from a friend.
Allahu Akbar.
How people are desperate to come to Karbala.
Abu Talib, I want to bring something to your attention. this is your first Muharram here.
Yes,
How old are you?
I am 24.
24. Abu Talib, how does it feel the past 23 lists written by the Malaika, your name wasn't on there? How does it feel that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein didn't put your name, part of the Zuwar, on that list to visit him? Abu Talib, how does it feel that Habib al-Hussein didn't put you on that list? How does it feel that the Shuhada didn't put you on that list? How does it feel that Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas alayhi salam didn't put you on that list? 23 lists were made, Abu Talib. Millions came.
I have only one requirement. It's Abu Abdullah. I missed 23 lists. I promise that I will not let a year pass without me being present in your land. But Abu Abdullah, just accept one visit of your shrine. That's it. That wipes all the past. This gives us dignity, and we are confident that if Imam al-Hussein accepts one of our visits and just gives us a blink of an eye, then I don't need anything else.
You know, the thought of not being on that list, it's scary. To sit and think that Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam said, not this person this year. I don't want this person this year. To think that Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam said, not Minhal al-Khafaji this year, no. I don't want him to experience the 10 nights of Muharram in Karbala. It's scary.
And you know what's more scarier?
Tell me.
Is that there'll come a time where we'll not be able to, you know where I'm going, we'll not be able to reach to the shrine of the Imam. Your hands will be tied, and you will be tight. You'll be in your kafan. Dig deep in your grave. But I'm sure you'll hear the mawakib passing by your grave, and you will wish that you could have done one more ziyarah, and that you could have dropped one more tear, and that you could have seen his shrine one more final time.
Our final, inshallah, our janazas. All of us will die, my dear brothers and sisters. Inshallah, our janazas enter that room. inshallah, we have the honor of having our bodies enter that sanctuary. Brothers and sisters, inshallah, we'll accept the next caller on the line and say Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Disconnected. Okay, no problem. Do we have another caller? Disconnected again. No problem. You know, Abu Talib, Imam Hussein alayhi salam was younger than Muslim ibn Aqil by 1 year. Which means that Muslim ibn Aqil was the same age as Imam al-Hasan alayhi salam. They were very close to each other. When the news reached about Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, could you imagine his reaction to the death of Muslim ibn Aqil and how he died? Thinking that every time he tried to drink water, it would be mixed with his blood, so he couldn't drink it, so he had to spit it out. Until he died thirsty. Bismillah. Let's take the next caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Disconnected once more. We do apologize, my dear brothers and sisters. There is a problem with the internet here in Iraq. But nevertheless, those of you who are seeing this on your screens, feel free to perform a ziyarah. But if you want to call us, then the number's down below for you to have your voice here in the holy land of Karbala, and for us to be notified of your names so that they go on the flag of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. We can tell that you can tell that by the looks of it, it's nearly halfway there, and we're halfway through the 10 nights of Muharram. I haven't spoken a lot about Habib.
No. You know, a 75-year-old man, he killed over 60 enemies that stood against Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Habib's name is mentioned in ziyarat of Imam al-Hussein, and also in a ziyarah in the middle of Sha'ban. What a honored man he is.
Inshallah, we take the next caller on the line and we say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
MashaAllah. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Zara Sunbus and I'm calling from Oldham.
Zara Sundus?
Sumbul. Yeah.
And you're
I'm calling from Oldham.
Oldham. Okay. MashaAllah.
Yeah.
Zara, when you went to Majlis today, what was the musibah you had?
It's a musibah of Hazrat Aun and Muhammad al-Islam.
Hazrat Aun and Muhammad alayhi salam, the sons of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam.
Yeah.
Do you have children yourself?
Yes, I do.
Put yourself in the shoe of Bibi Zainab alayhi salam.
I have boys myself, and that musibah just tore me up from inside.
What would your reaction be if your sons came to you and said, we want to fight for Sahib al-Zaman? Would you say, let others go out and fight? Or would you say, be at the forefront of the fight with Sahib al-Zaman?
I would say be at the forefront, inshallah.
Ahsant. MashaAllah. I'm going to put the shrine in front of you, and I want you to speak to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam and urge him to invite you back to the holy land of Karbala. Bismillah, go ahead.
Assalamu alayka ya Imam Hussein. Please call me to your holy shrine, including my family. I really wish to come and see your grave, visit your grave, and pray my hajjat there.
Is there anyone else in your family who would like to have a ziyarah?
My children, my husband, my mom.
What's their names?
It's Asad Hussein, my husband.
Asad Hussein.
Muhammad Manan Hussein.
Muhammad Manal Hussein.
Muhammad Ammar Hussein.
Muhammad Ammar Hussein.
And Muhammad Murtaza Hussein.
Muhammad Murtaza Hussein. MashaAllah. All begin with Muhammad.
Yeah.
Muhammad, but it ends with Hussein.
Yes.
Because Ahl al-Kisa started with Muhammad and it ended with Hussein.
Yes.
Subhanallah. MashaAllah. Thank you very much for your call. We really,
Thank you very much.
really do appreciate it. Brothers and sisters, we're going to go for a very short break and we'll be right with you to take your calls and your names and put them on the holy flag of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Don't go anywhere.
One of the most significant acts is the provision of tabarruk and niyaz for Husseiniyyas worldwide.
In a world plagued by hunger and the merciless killing of Shia Muslims on a daily basis, it becomes our duty to give to those in need. Countless Husseiniyyat, Imam Bargas and centers cook meals to nourish their local communities as the masses gather to remember Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam.
And do you know what? The orphans and widows absolutely cherish it.
During this time of year, hundreds of thousands of orphans, widows and people living in poverty rely on niyaz and tabarruk.
Just imagine the profound impact a single plate of food, a glass of water or a bag of fruit can have.
These simple items can nourish a hungry child.
Over 1,300 years since the Battle of the Free, the effort of millions globally heightens during these sacred nights. The mark of the beginning of the Islamic calendar marks the beginning of the oppression against the Holy Prophet and his holy progeny. For the next 10 nights, commencing from the 19th of July, Muhibban al-Mahdi will begin their annual commemoration of the holy month of Muharram, aired live and exclusive on Imam Hussein TV 3, with guest speaker Sheikh Muhammad Abbas Panji, English eulogies by Ammar al-Nashir, Urdu eulogies by Muhammad Abbas Kareem.
Back, my dear brothers and sisters, to the I Am Husseini show. We are here in the final segment in the holy land of Karbala. From one side we spoke about Muslims And another side we spoke about Habib. These two in their own respects played a major role in the Battle of Karbala. On one hand, one of them risked everything to make sure he could pave the way to Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam claiming his rightful khilafah, to restoring justice without forgetting the principles of Aba Abdullah al-Hussein. On another hand, the other one silently waited, lived a normal life until he heard the call of Hal min Nasr. Both started off separately and ended up meeting at their final destination, death in the way of Hussein. Both of them were older than Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam. But none of them were arrogant to say that I am older than Aba Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam, and that I will not take orders from someone who is younger than me. Abu Talib, sometimes how difficult can it be to take orders from someone who is younger?
Everybody's got their own dignity. And I really look up to Habib al-Madahir. And at times I think that Habib al-Madahir was a father figure for Imam al-Hussein.
Yeah.
Because he had a scent of Amir al-Mu'mineen. As he accompanied him in his battles. And he was known to be a wise, brave elder in the tribes at the time.
Ahsant. Brothers and sisters, we take the next caller on the line and we say Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
MashaAllah. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Sabah Khan and I'm calling from Toronto with my daughter. Her name is Fatima.
Could you repeat your name one more time, please?
Yes, brother, my name is Sabah.
Sahar.
Sabah.
Sabah.
Yes.
Sabah, Abbas and Fatima, who's with her.
My name is Sabah and my daughter's name is Fatima.
MashaAllah. Sister, what's one thing you miss about Karbala?
I have never been to Karbala. It's my wish to go there next year, inshallah, if God wills.
Now, sister, imagine you have the opportunity to enter the holy shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, inshallah, next year, and that you fall into a deep sleep. Imagine when you fall into this deep sleep, I want you to imagine Imam Hussein alayhi salam, his shirt is being held by Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam. What would your reaction be if you see the bloodied shirt of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein? Sister, are you still with me?
Yes, brother, I'm with you.
Imagine you see the shirt, the bloodied shirt of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam in front of you, in the hands of Fatima al-Zahra alayhi salam.
I would fall down on my knees and I would kiss the blessed shirt.
MashaAllah. Your daughter, how old is she?
My daughter is almost 3 years old.
3 years old. 3 years old.
Almost 3 years old, my daughter Sadiq.
Then I want you to forget my first question. Look at your daughter right now and imagine Bibi Ruqayya in front of you. Imagine Bibi Ruqayya in front of you. Sister, whilst you're imagining Bibi Ruqayya in front of you, I want you to begin your ziyarah. Bismillah, go ahead.
I will start with
Sister, please begin your ziyarah. Bismillah.
Assalamu alaikum ya Abu Abdullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Ibn Rasulullah. Assalamu alaikum ya Ibn Amirul Mu'minin. Assalamu alaikum ya Ibn Fatima. Assalamu alaikum ya Abu bin Abbas. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace be upon you, O Imam Hussein alayhi salam. Peace be upon you, O son of Holy Prophet alayhi salam. Peace be upon you, O son of Imam Ali alayhi salam, the commander of faithful. Peace be upon you, O son of Fatima al-Zahra. Peace be upon you, O Abbas, son of Imam Ali alayhi salam. Peace be upon you and the mercy of God and His bounty be upon you, all the Al-Bayt alayhi salam.
MashaAllah.
O Allah, please grant me the opportunity to visit Karbala. O Allah, please put the love of Al-Bayt alayhi salam in my daughter's heart.
Inshallah.
O Allah, please guide me and O Allah, please guide me and my daughter to
Ya
the
Allah.
righteous.
Ahsantum. Jazakumullah khairul jaza. Thank you for your call. Inshallah, we take the next caller on the line. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam, brother.
MashaAllah. Can I have your name and where you're calling from?
Brother, I can't hear you very well.
Your name and where you're calling from.
My name is Aisha Sultana Mirza.
Aisha Sultan Mirza.
Sultana.
Aisha Sultana Mirza. And you're calling from?
London, brother.
London.
and my husband's name is Muhammad Ihsan Haider.
Muhammad Ihsan Haider. Sister.
Hello.
Yes, sister, have you been to Kufa?
Assalamu alaikum, ya Rab. Hello. Assalamu alaikum.
Sister, have you been to Kufa?
Hello.
Yes. Have you been to the land of Kufa, my dear sister?
Hello, brother.
Okay. So I think the connection is a bit bad, but
No, brother.
You've never been to the land of Kufa?
No, brother.
Okay. Can you imagine yourself in a land that's very foreign to you? In a land you've never been in? And you're walking in the middle of the night alone. Just imagine yourself walking the streets alone. You're lonely. You're upset. You've just been betrayed. You've got the people baying for your blood. But most importantly, you are the ambassador to Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And you are hurrying to write him a letter to tell him, Ya Hussein, the people of Kufa have betrayed you. Where would you go? What would you do? How would you deal with the situation? Sister, are you still with me? Disconnected. I'll tell you how I would feel. Or how anyone else would feel. I would feel confused. I personally would feel fear. I personally wouldn't know what to do. I would be walking in random roads. I would go left and then I would go right and I'd go straight and then I'd walk back and trail my footsteps. I would try knocking on people's doors for food, for water. But if I'm Muslim ibn Aqil, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides me. If I'm Muslim ibn Aqil, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guides me to the house of Tawa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would guide me to the purest of water in her house. Sometimes I think and I sit and imagine Muslim ibn Aqil when he sat down in the room. And he would look left and right. And the heat of Kufa, would be uncomfortable for him. But then say he hears a door open. He hears the door open. And then he hears the conversation that happens. Mother, who is in our home? Mother, who is the guest in our house? The mother would say, if I tell you, you promise not to tell anyone. And then he would make the promise. This is all while Muslim ibn Aqil is listening. And Muslim then hears his name. Muslim, the son of Aqil, is in our house, my dear son. Could you imagine the feeling of Muslim when he heard the door shut a few seconds after the son had heard that Muslim was in the house? Could you imagine Muslim listening to the footsteps, that by each step the sound of the connection with the floor gets fainter and fainter and fainter until Muslim can't hear anymore? Can you imagine a few hours later Muslim hears the footsteps or the galloping of horses? And it's not one or two horses. Can you imagine? He hears 1,000 men running towards him, and each footsteps gets stronger and louder and louder and louder until Muslim realizes they have come for one thing. Ya Allah. They've come to get. And then Muslim would send his salams to Taw'a. And he would say, Ya Taw'a, you have done enough for me. And you have done your duty. And then imagine, once the sword is unsheathed, that's the sign of battle. Imagine the reaction of Ubaydullah bin Ziyad as he receives a letter from a messenger. And he is thinking that the letter was going to say, we have caught Muslim ibn Aqil. Instead, the letter says, send us more men. Because we cannot capture this man. When asked why, when asked, I've sent you so many men. I've sent you so many men to capture one man. I've sent you 1,000 men. to capture one man. The response came back saying, do you know who this man is? This is Muslim ibn Aqil. This is the nephew of Ali ibn Abi Talib. This is the cousin of Hussein. This is the cousin of Hassan. This is the cousin of Zainab. This is the uncle of Zain al-Abidin. When Muslim was finally captured, Muslim ibn Aqil was thrown in a hole. They dug a hole. And then they captured Muslim. Sometimes you look from this building behind me and you look at the fall in front of you and you ask yourself, is this the view that Muslim had? Is this what Muslim ibn Aqil saw? Did Muslim think about his daughter Hamida? Did he think of her playing with Ruqayya alayhi salam? Did Muslim think what about my daughter Hamida? Muslim, what happened to your sword? Muslim, did they return your sword? Or did they steal it? Did they loot your body? Muslim, your ring finger wasn't cut off. But the finger of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam was cut.
Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein,
For
Ya
the ring.
Hussein, Ya Hussein, Ya Hussein. Ya Hussein. Amir al-Mu'mineen was known that in prayer he gave away his ring. He gave it away. He was pleased to give it away. But, O Amir al-Mu'mineen, your son's ring was taken away as well.
It was forced.
But he wasn't pleased about it. I wish it was only the ring. Abu Abdullah, if it was only for the ring, then let the ring go. But Abu Abdullah, Your finger was gone with it as well. Aba Abdullah, let me remind you of something. Your ring was taken. Minhal, let me remind you. You know what else was taken? It was from Ruqayyah.
Don't.
I can't see it. I can't see it. I can't see it. I'm sorry. I can't see it. No. I will not narrate. Sahib al-Zaman, Abba Salih, you're present. I can't narrate this. Sahib al-Zaman, you are present. I can't narrate this, but I'm sure you are aware of what had taken place.
Brothers and sisters, we will leave it on that note. We will not narrate what happened to Ruqayyah. We won't. I'd like to thank each and every single one of us, or each and every single one of you, for joining us here on the I Am Husseini show. We'll continue to take your names throughout the night and put them on the flag of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. If you still want to do ziyarah, welcome to Karbala is in 1 hour. From me, my brother Abu Talib, and everyone here at Imam Hussein Media Group, we bid you Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Every beat of my heart, Ya Hussein, never leave us apart, Ya Hussein. What is left in us besides this great love and our hearts beat, Ya Hussein. Every beat of my heart, Ya Hussein, never leave us apart, Ya Hussein.
In the tragic month of Muharram, one of the most significant acts is the provision of tabarruk and niyaz for Husseiniyyas worldwide.
In a world plagued by hunger and the merciless killing of Shia Muslims on a daily basis, it becomes our duty to give to those in need. Countless Husseiniyyat, Imam Bargas and centers cook meals.
They hit me where they pull my balance. I lost no arms to support. From my horse I was tossed. But mother, despite everything that they took, still to Master Hussein with guilt I would look. Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala. More I wanted to offer, I was not done. For me the battle hadn't even begun. But mother, forgive me, to me death had come. How could I leave when Hussein hadn't yet won? Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala. Mother, though in my grave you have my support, continue my mission for which I had fought. Mother, for forgiveness I ask you again, for I departed and alone stands Hussein. Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Karbala, Karbala, ya Karbala, ya Assalamu
The first reason, حبا له, I love Aqil. He's a good individual. He has good characteristics. وحبا لحب أبي طالب له. So one time I love you because you're a good individual.
Yeah.
I have nothing to do with your family, I have nothing to do with your ancestors. But another time I love you because I see your father shows strong love towards you. So Rasulullah says, I love Aqil because he is Aqil, and I love Aqil because Abu Talib showed love towards Aqil. وَإِنَّ وَلَدَهُ, who? The son of Aqil. Yeah. And the son of Aqil, who? The son of Aqil. Yeah. And the son of Aqil, Maqtul. Now, who's talking about son of Aqil? Who has said anything about death? Who has said anything about being killed? But here, Allah's messenger is looking way up front. Yeah. He wants to inform people. This family is a family that sacrificed for Islam. And they will continue sacrificing. Not only the grandfather, and not only the father, but this will continue, the sacrifice will continue in the lineage of this great individual, Abu Talib. وَإِنَّ وَلَدَهُ, the grandson of Abu Talib and the son of Aqil, مقتول ويقصد بذلك, the riwayah says ويقصد بذلك Muslim, so he means Muslim. في محبة ولدك, here Rasulullah speaking to Ali ibn Abi Talib, and he's saying that his son, the son of Aqil, your brother, مقتول في محبة ولدك, he is going to be killed as a result of the love that he carries for your son, يا علي. فتدمع عليه عيون المؤمنين. Now here, as a result of the narration of Rasulullah, you want to know yourself, if you are classified as a mu'min, Rasulullah says, the mu'min, they will shed tears upon the tragedy of Muslim. وَتُصَلِّي عَلَيْهِ الْمَلَائِكَةُ الْمُقَرَّبُونَ. Allah's angels will come down and pray upon Muslim ibn Aqil and send their salutations on the soul of Aqil. ثم بكى رسول الله. Rasulullah cries. Now, how many times do we see in history that Rasulullah actually cries for individuals? We see one time Rasulullah cries for Hamza, his uncle. We see one time Rasulullah cries for his son Ibrahim. We see one time Rasulullah cries before the birth of Hussein alayhi salam. We see Rasulullah crying on the day of the birth of Hussein alayhi salam. We see Rasulullah crying every time he mentions Hussein alayhi salam and what will happen to him in Karbala. We see Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam showing his emotions by crying when he sees Imam al-Hussein running towards Rasulullah, and Rasulullah is on top of the pulpit. And Imam al-Hussein, when he's running, he trips up in the masjid. Rasulullah leaves the pulpit, comes down and takes Hussein alayhi salam and cries. Here Rasulullah wants to show that when I show emotions towards Hussein, that same emotion I am showing towards Muslim ibn Aqil. فبكى رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم حتى جرت دموعه على صدره. Rasulullah cries and cries and cries until his tears drop onto his chest. ثم قال, Rasulullah continues, إلى الله أشكو ما تلقى عترتي من بعدي. I shall submit and I shall forward the sacrifice of my family and what they shall face, my progeny shall face as a result of this ummah. Here we know that Aqil and Muslim ibn Aqil hold a prominent position at Rasulullah, by Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam. Now, when Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, of course Muslim ibn Aqil was in his 30s, as some narrations narrate. Some narrations narrate he was in his late 20s. When Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam called Muslims to join him when he was leaving Medina, of course, Muslim ibn Aqil, with his family, he left the city of Medina and joined the caravan of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam.
Right.
Imam al-Hussein left Medina in Rajab. He arrived.
Also, a Muslim al-Aqil left with Imam al-Hussein.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He took his family, his wife, his children. They all joined Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So they arrived with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam to Mecca.
Yeah.
So all the way from Medina to Mecca, Muslim was with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. In Mecca, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam receives letters from the people of Kufa. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam receives thousands of letters from the people of Mecca, from the people of Kufa, inviting him, and some letters show that they were begging Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam to come because they had enough of the oppression that was being practiced upon them by the Umayyad dynasty.
Yeah.
Here, Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam makes the decision to send a representative, because still Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, looking back at the history of the city of Kufa, he knew that how some of the Kufans had treated his father.
Yeah.
Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi alayhi, how Amir al-Mu'mineen was struck and was killed and assassinated in the Masjid of Kufa. So he wanted to receive assurance and confirmation about the sincerity of the people of Kufa when they invite Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam to come to Kufa, and that they will back him, and they will support him, and they will provide everything for him. So he is able to overturn the Umayyads, at least starting from Kufa, and start a revolution, an uprising. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam summons Muslim ibn Aqil.
This is in Mecca.
This is in Mecca. We are still in Mecca. Muslim ibn Aqil, he invites him, and he gives Muslim a letter explaining to him his duty and what he is expected to do, and another letter, a message to the people of Kufa. And Muslim ibn Aqil bids farewell to his family, and Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam sends 2 or 3 other companions to accompany Muslim ibn Aqil towards Kufa.
Okay.
So Muslim was not alone in his journey from Mecca towards Kufa. Some narrations narrate that Muslim ibn Aqil, he traveled alone from Mecca to Medina, back to Medina. And was joined by 2 or 3 other companions from Medina. He set towards Kufa.
Okay.
Of course, the travel or the trip from Medina towards Kufa was a difficult one. So Muslim ibn Aqil sets off from Mecca on the 15th of the holy month of Ramadan. Sets off towards Kufa. He arrives in Kufa 5th of Shawwal. 15th of the holy month of Ramadan, he sets off from Mecca. 5th of Shawwal, year 60 Lil Hijrah, he arrives in Kufa. Of course, narrations narrate that those who accompanied Muslim, they perished during the way. They died. They perished as a result of hunger and thirst. So Muslim ibn Aqil, he survived, although he was affected by the thirst, he was weakened, but he survived and he was able to reach Kufa, entered Kufa on the 5th of Shawwal. The first place he headed towards was the house of Al-Mukhtar ibn Abi Ubayd al-Thaqafi. He resides in the house of Mukhtar. Of course, Mukhtar is well known. He's from a strong tribe. His family, his lineage are individuals who supported Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi alayhi in many battles. What I wanted to clarify is that Muslim ibn Aqil, he joined Amir al-Mu'mineen salawatullahi alayhi in Siffin. He was accompanying Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam alongside Imam al-Hasan, Imam al-Hussein, and Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas in some of the battles of Ali ibn Abi Talib salawatullahi alayhi. So the narrations narrate that Muslim was present in Siffin, so he's a brave warrior. And he's an individual that has the expertise and the skills that is needed to represent Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. And we will come to recognize the skills and the specifications of a person representing an Imam when we read the description of Imam Hussein to the people of Kufa about Muslim ibn Aqil.
Yes.
So he arrives in Kufa, he stays in the house of Mukhtar, and of course the eyes of the secret service of Bani Umayyah is on Mukhtar. So Muslim ibn Aqil, every couple of weeks he changes his location. The Shia, the tribes, the followers of Amir al-Mu'mineen, they all hear Muslim ibn Aqil has come to Kufa. He's representing, he's come to Kufa on behalf of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So they come, they seek to find out news of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So Muslim ibn Aqil opens the letter and reads the letter of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam to the people of Kufa.
Yeah.
I'm not going to read the letter, but the start of the letter, where it describes who Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam has sent to them and in what status. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam starts the letter in saying, إني باعث إليكم أخي وابن عمي وثقتي من أهل بيتي مسلم ابن عقيل فإن كتب إلي بأنه قد اجتمع رأي ملأكم وذوي الحجى والفضل منكم على مثل ما قدمت به رسلكم وقرأت في كتبكم فإني أقدم إليكم وشيكا إن شاء الله. So Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam explains to the people of Kufa, O people of Kufa, this person that I have sent representing me, first of all, in the first instance, is my brother. Now, if we come to look at the word brother and brotherhood, the first thing that comes to my mind is when Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam akha bayna al-muhajirin wal-ansar in Medina.
He did, yeah.
Who did Rasulullah choose for himself as a brother? Ali ibn Abi Talib, the uncle of Muslim ibn Aqil. Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam here is trying to clarify to us the same way that my father Ali ibn Abi Talib was the brother of my grandfather Rasulullah. Here I am sending to you someone who I see as my brother.
Subhanallah. That's a big position.
That's a big position. So as Ali ibn Abi Talib was to Rasulullah, Muslim ibn Aqil was to Imam al-Hussein salawatullahi alayhi, at least in conveying the message and this responsibility. Wa ibn Ammi, in terms of lineage, he is my cousin. Wa thiqati, here the concept of thiqa and trust. So it appears that there were other individuals that tried to represent Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam in Kufa, but they did not receive the trust of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam.
Okay.
They want that position that they were certified by Imam al-Hussein to be representatives of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. Imam al-Hussein salawatullah alayhi, he looks for completeness when you want to be a representative of Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. In your akhlaq, in your iman, in your faith, in your ibadah, in your honesty, in your code of conduct, in your behavior with your family, with your friends. When you walk on the streets, are you representing Islam or are you representing yourself? Anyway, وثقتي من أهل بيتي Muslim ibn Aqil, and if Muslim writes to me, clarifying to me what you had written in your letters when I received your letters, then I will come to you, insha'Allah. So they all come and start pledging allegiance to Imam al-Hussein through Muslim ibn Aqil.
But at the same time, there are certain things happening in Kufa in terms of the governmentship and Ubaydullah bin Ziyad coming into power.
Yes.
And actually, I was listening, well, I was reading the narrations in terms of Ubaydullah actually entered dressed as Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam, or he tried to dress similar to Imam al-Hussein.
Yeah.
So showing the people, look, Imam al-Hussein has arrived. And it was a bit of of course, it was a cunning plan to filter out who were the Shia and who were the ones supporting Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam. So when he went into the palace, he said, every single person that said their allegiance to me, get them one by one, either imprison them or kill them. I think that's the case, right?
So how did someone like Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad end up being the governor of Kufa?
Yeah. And Kufa wasn't a simple city, was it?
No.
No.
It was a stronghold. It has been a stronghold for every government or every leadership.
Yeah.
Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, his father Ziyad ibn Abi, they were from a family of a lineage that always were known for their animosity and hatred towards Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, and always were known to be very vicious. They had this characteristics of vicious animals. When they wanted to get rid of a group or a clan or a tribe or an uprising, Bani Umayyah would always use this family to wipe away any uprising. Ziyad ibn Abi and his son Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, he was the governor of Basra.
Yeah.
And at the same time, he had the responsibility of running the affairs of Kufa from far. Who was the governor of Basra, of Kufa, when Muslim ibn Aqil entered? Was Nu'man ibn Bashir. And Nu'man ibn Bashir was a wise individual, although he was the governor of Bani Umayyah in Kufa. But he said, they told him Muslim ibn Aqil has come, he is collecting all of the allegiances of people of Kufa and the tribes of Kufa, and he is in his way to cause an uprising. He told them, until they actually physically stand against the government, I'm not going to do anything. So
and this doesn't sit well with the Umayyads.
The key figures of the Umayyads who were around him are namely Umar ibn Sa'd, Muhammad ibn al-Ash'ath, ibn Qais, Shimr ibn Dhil Jawshan, and the other prominent figures that were present in Karbala. They all thought that this is a weakness being showed by this person, so they write to Yazid. Yazid, if you have an interest in keeping Kufa, then your governor is showing a weakness. Al-Hajj, quickly. So he writes to who? Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad was a cunning individual. He was very smart. He didn't come with his khadam and hasham, his guards, his servants, and the caravans and the camels, no. He came, he said, okay, if I want to go into Kufa, at this current climate, the people of Kufa are all paying allegiance to Muslim and they are going to be followers of Imam Hussein. So I should enter Kufa disguised in the look of Imam Hussein alayhi salam. And this is what he's done. He's entered Kufa, he's covered his face, wearing simple Arabian clothes with a turban. And people see him, they think this is Imam Hussein alayhi salam. He makes his way until he stands by the gate of the Dar al-Imara. The gate did not open. They told him, who are you? The gods. He said, open the door, I am your governor. They started laughing. Then he opened his face cover. They recognized him. He enters. Now, Muslim ibn Aqil is still in the process of writing towards Imam al-Hussein salawatullahi alayhi, Ya Aba Abdullah, an aqdim. I have counted thousands of supporters and they are true in their support towards you, Ya Aba Abdullah. And I think it's time for you to come towards Kufa. And he sends it with a messenger, and the messenger leaves. Here, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad starts to tactically manage the situation, so how he can cancel or demolish or distinguish this uprising. First of all, Muslim ibn Aqil tends, as I said, to move from one location to another. He doesn't want the household or this character to be affected negatively. So he moves into the house of Hani ibn Urwa. Hani ibn Urwa, at that time he had someone who was ill and was staying in the house of Hani ibn Urwa and was acting out to be as one of the followers of Ibn Ziyad, but in reality he was one of the Shia. And his name was Shuraik or Sharik. Here, Muslim ibn Aqil, as advised by Shuraik, that, O Muslim, as I am in the face outside, I am one of Bani Umayyah, I represent Bani Umayyah, I know for sure that Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad is going to come and visit me because I'm ill. And this is what happened. Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad, cutting the long story short, I know we don't have time, he sends a spy because people were coming towards Muslim carrying money, carrying belongings to show their allegiance, to support Muslim. So he carried thousands of dinars and dirhams, came to Muslim as if he is one of the followers to find out, because he asked, where is Muslim? They didn't tell him. He told them, I'm carrying some cash, some money for him. He was able to get through to the house of Hani. He found out the Muslim was staying there. He came back to Ubaydullah, and the excuse of that he was visiting Shuraik. His friend came to the house of Hani. Shuraik had advised Muslim, Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad is coming to visit me. This is the most perfect opportunity for you to get rid of this guy.
To kill him, yeah.
To kill him. Muslim ibn Aqil alayhi salam, he hid because he didn't want to show his face to Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. As agreed, Shuraik started speaking indirectly, trying to signal to Muslim, it's time for you now to attack.
Yeah.
One time, two times, إياك أعني واسمعي يا جارة, I am speaking to you, why don't you? Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad finds out. He quickly leaves. Muslim then comes to clarify that the reason that I did not attack is that my prophet and prophet of Islam has always said that we Ahlul Bayt, we are not ghaddarin, we don't use ghadar.
Yeah.
We don't use the tactics of
manipulation,
treachery
and stuff like that, yeah.
And stabbing in the back to get rid of our opponents. Cutting the long story short, the people of Kufa have always been known to be individuals who were two-hearted. Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad started using some tactics. Sometimes he would bribe people. Sometimes he would threaten the heads of the tribes and the clans. That if you and your people do not withdraw your allegiance towards Muslim ibn Aqil, I shall annihilate every single one of you.
Yeah.
And he started off with Hani.
Yeah.
He summoned Hani to the palace. He told Hani, oh Hani, I want you to hand in Muslim ibn Aqil. Hani declined. He imprisoned Hani. Then, when Hani ibn Urwa was imprisoned, Muslim ibn Aqil here announces the uprising. Announces the uprising. They set a date. Muslim ibn Aqil, the appointment and the date and the location was set after Salat al-Maghrib. From the Masjid of Kufa, they will go and surround Qasr al-Imara.
Ajib.
And their slogan was, Ya Mansur Amit. That was the secret word between the companions of Muslim ibn Aqil. Oh, the successful one caused death. Ya Mansur Amit, Muslim ibn Aqil, with thousands. Some narrations narrate 12,000, some narrations 18, some 30. Regardless, he comes to the Masjid of Kufa. He starts praying Salat al-Maghrib wal-Isha. Allahu Akbar. And when he finishes Salat al-Maghrib Isha, there is a handful. During Salat, each person, because they had heard that there is an army coming from Sham to wipe away the people of Kufa and Muslim ibn Aqil and the movement of Muslim, and which was not true. There wasn't no army coming. But this was one of the tactics of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. Imam al-Hussein is on his way towards Kufa. Muslim ibn Aqil started this uprising. He starts looking back behind him. There is a handful. And as he's promised them, he is making his way towards Qasr al-Imara.
Right. Can we pause just on there for now, I think, because we're going to enter into the tragic scenes that befalls Muslim ibn Aqil. On our return, brothers and sisters, we're going to hear from Brother Nayar Kazmi, inshallah. But for now, there is a wealth of information that you should have been able to take on in terms of the life of Muslim ibn Aqil and his mission in Kufa. However, Please don't go anywhere, because in the next couple of minutes we'll return, inshallah. When we return, we will talk about the tragedy of Muslim ibn Aqil and hear poetry in his name and his honor. So inshallah we'll see you in a couple of minutes.
Ban al-Mahdi will begin their annual commemoration of the holy month of Muharram, aired live and exclusive on Imam Hussein TV 3, with guest speaker Sheikh Muhammad Abbas Panji. English eulogies by Ammar al-Nash.
In the tragic month of Muharram, one of the most significant acts is the provision of tabarruk and niyaz for Husseyniyas worldwide.
In a world plagued by hunger and the merciless killing of Shia Muslims on a daily basis, it becomes our duty to give to those in need. Countless Husseyniyat Imam Bargas and centers cook meals to nourish their local communities as the masses gather to remember Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam.
And do you know what? The orphans and widows absolutely cherish it.
During this time of year, hundreds of thousands of orphans, widows and people living in poverty rely on niyaz and tabarruk.
Just imagine the profound impact a single plate of food, a glass of water or a bag of fruit can have.
These simple items can nourish a hungry child, bring comfort to a struggling family, and even inspire a brighter future.
However, we cannot do this alone. We need your help to create a lasting impact this Muharram.
Join us in this collective effort to provide basic necessities that every human deserves.
Make your niyaz count and donate your tabarruk now so that it can reach the Husseinis and the Zainabis of today.
Welcome back, dear viewers of Imam Hussein TV 3. You are watching Verses of Love live, coming to you from London. This is essentially the majlis after the majlis. So those of you at home who have finished your majalis and you want to sit back and maybe digest what you have learnt in the day when you have commemorated for Abu Abdullah al-Hussein, then for tonight we are remembering Muslim ibn Aqil alayhi salam. If you are about to go to the majlis and your majalis, the night hasn't started for you, then hopefully this majlis will be able to open up your minds and your hearts and soften your hearts so that it is easier for you to connect to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein in the majalis tonight. It is the 5th night of Muharram, so tomorrow is the 5th day of Muharram, meaning that we are halfway through the 10 nights commemorating Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. So as I mentioned earlier before the break, that if you are yet to connect really spiritually to Imam al-Hussein and the spirit of Muharram, then you still have a couple of more days left in order to really tether your heart to Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And because we are mentioning and remembering Muslim ibn Aqil, we've heard extensively from Sayyid Ali, our special guest for today, about the life of Muslim ibn Aqil and exactly the nitty-gritty details of what happened in Kufa before he was left all alone. And inshallah we will carry on with the tragedy of Muslim ibn Aqil. However, first and foremost, we're going to hear from Banayar in terms of the poetry that we have for today. And I believe that you work well under a bit of pressure. You like writing quite late in the day. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be honest, sometimes some poets will write very early, but they're not really happy, but sometimes the inspiration comes closer to the time of performance. What's it like with you as a poet?
Well, I'm a procrastinator, so I usually leave things towards the end. I've always done that. I've always worked well doing that as well.
You're not the only one.
Yeah.
So and I work well under pressure. I realized as well. Like if you give me something 5 months in advance, I won't do it. But closer to the time, inshallah.
Inshallah.
Yeah.
Ahsantum.
Yeah.
So inshallah you have something prepared for Muslim ibn Aqil. Yes. It's on.
صلوا على محمد وآل محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
A story of a king dispersed in the wind Only sorrow it brings, whispering and murmuring, its echo pulls on the heartstrings. Illuminating faces with the tears seeping into the great spring, a stockpile of munition to which the lovers cling. For when the end is near, that's all they'll bring. For when the end is near, that's all they'll bring, to drink away their sins, as Kawthar is the spring. They say Ali's heart broke on Karbala's plains, scattered on either side of Bain al-Haramain, but what they fail to tell you is that nothing had remained. He left his ribs in Medina where he vomited his liver. He left his ribs in Medina where he vomited his liver, had his unborn torn from his mother, and then he had nothing left to give. And when he had nothing left to give, they came for his lovers in Kufa. Once home to Imam Ali, became the host to his enemies. Kufa, once home to Imam Ali, became the host to his enemies. Muslim bin Aqil, just like his beloved cousin, slain alone and thirsty on the rooftop of a mental prison. Hope is lost, confined to the palace walls, shackled into despair, Islam distorted everywhere. For every second inside those halls, Muslim gave 1,000 calls. For every second inside those halls, Muslim gave 1,000 calls. 1,000 calls, you ask, what do I mean? 1,000 calls, you ask, what do I mean? 1,000 calls to his beloved Amir, Al Hussein, don't come to Kufa. Your enemy's grown stronger. I search for a single helper, but I'll die like a stranger. Oh Hussein, don't come to Kufa, your enemy's grown stronger. I search for a single helper, but I'll die like a stranger. I fear for you the same sooner or later. I fear for you the same sooner or later. The news of Muslims' martyrdom reaches Hussein near Kufa. The news of Muslims' martyrdom reaches Hussein near Kufa. Hussein consoles his daughters. Now I'm your father. Hussein consoles his daughters. Now I'm your father. Ruqayya confused, only to find out later, except she had no one to console her but the slaps from her father's killer. Ruqayya confused, only to find out later, except she had no one to console her but the slaps from her father's killer. Sallu ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Ahsant, Brother Nayar, for that poetry. I especially love the ending. And what really breaks the heart is Sayyidina Ruqayya alayhi salam looking at that scene where where Hamida, the daughter of Muslim bin Aqil, is being consoled by her uncle, Abu Abdullah al-Hussein. And she also is confused, saying, "Look, why are you wiping my head?" But I think I'm going to leave it now to the Honorable Sayyid to go through, I guess, the tragedy of Muslim ibn Aqil.
لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل، نعم المولى ونعم النصير. This night, take your hearts to the dark streets of Kufa, where the beloved cousin of Abi Abdullah is turning from one street to another, seeking for a refuge. The man that days before had thousands paying allegiance to him, in a night like the night of the 9th of the Hajjah, the night of Arafah,
where the Hujjaj, the pilgrims, are rotating around the house of Allah, and they are shouting, Labbaik Allahumma labbaik. The cousin of Abi Abdullah in the streets of Kufa is shouting, Labbaik ya Hussein. Brothers and sisters, wherever you are tonight, place your hands on your heart and go towards the holy city of Kufa, where the burial site of a Muslim, and say, oh Muslim, although you weren't present in Karbala, but we have dedicated a night for you when we are remembering the loneliness of Abi Abdullah, Muslim ibn Aqil, on lonely. He walks until he arrives by the door of the house of honorable, respected lady by the name of Taw'a. Muslim, all alone, thirsty, broken, he sits outside the house of Taw'a. It's an unsafe climate in Kufa. This lady had a son. Her son had not returned home. She feared for his life. Every moment or two she would open the door and check the return of her son. Suddenly one moment she opens the door and notices a gharib sitting outside. Who are you? What is your name? He did not say. He said, Ya Amatallah, ana atshan. Oh servant of Allah, I am thirsty. Halli sharbatan min al-ma. She went inside. As a Muslim, when someone asks you for water, you have to give it to them. Hold on, don't go to Karbala yet, brothers and sisters. She goes in, she brings a bowl of water, she gives it to Muslim drinks, he gives back the container, she goes back inside. Moments later she comes out, she still sees him sitting there. She says, Ya hada la uhillu laka al-julus amama bayti. Religiously, I do not allow you to sit in front of my house. Muslim, a alim, a faqih, he knows halal and haram. When he heard the shar'an, religiously he stood up. She saw him standing there. She said to him, why don't you go back to your family? Do you not have a home in this city? The poet writes it and describes the situation. I will translate, inshallah. وعانا مستديرة لا أهل عندي ولا عشيرة. He looks around, he says, oh Amat Allah, oh servant of Allah, I have no family, no lineage in this city. Who are you? You are a gharib. He said to her, Ana Safir al-Hussein, Ana Muslim ibn Aqil. Upon hearing the name of Hussein and the name of Muslim ibn Aqil, she said, you are the son of Aqil, the brother of my master
Master Ali ibn Abi Talib, what are you doing here? He told her, I am Gharib. The people of Kufa neglected me. Is there a possibility that I can stay the night? Only tonight I want to stay in your house. She said, Ala al-Rahbi was-Sa'a, I am your maid, I am your servant. She invited him. She allocated a room. He renewed his ablution. He spent the night worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Every moment or so, she would come, bring water, bring food. She would see that he is not eating. She came and said to him, Ya Abdullah, Sayyidi, why do you not eat? He said to her, I just had a nap and I saw my uncle Amir al-Mu'mineen say to me, Al-Waha, Al-Waha, ya ibn Aqil, you are going to join us shortly. It's as if my uncle is saying to me, I am going to die. Until the dawn, this lady's son comes back. He notices his mother entering a room, checking up in a room. He investigated. He noticed there is someone in there. He came. He insisted, oh mother, who is this man inside the room? She tried to hide it. She couldn't. She said, if you ask, but I ask you to not tell anyone. This is Muslim ibn Aqil. There was a reward set by Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. Whoever brings the head or the news of a Muslim, he ran towards Qasr al-Imara. Moments later, an army of 300 soldiers surrounded the house of Taw'a. He unsheathed his sword, came out in the streets and alleyways. He started fighting like a brave warrior, representing his uncle Ali ibn Abi Talib. They couldn't. They sent for more soldiers, more warriors. He wrote, Muhammad ibn al-Ash'ath writes to Ubaydullah, he says, I need more warriors. Ubaydullah says, I sent you 300 armed men. Muhammad ibn al-Ash'ath says, do you think you have sent me to a vegetable seller of the people of Kufa? He is one of the swords of Al-Abi Talib. He killed many of them. He was so strong that he would hold on to the fighter, to the soldier, and throw him on top of the roofs of the houses. They came. The only way they could capture Muslim was that they dug a hole, a trench. They pushed and pushed towards Muslim until he fell. They arrested him. They handcuffed him. They wrapped ropes around his arms. They pulled him towards Qasr al-Imara. He stood in front of Ubaydullah ibn Ziyad. They told him, bow down and salute the Amir al-Fasiqeen. He said to them, leave him. Regardless of him saluting and saying his respects, he will be killed in a moment. They took him up to Qasr al-Imara. He had a few words exchanged between himself and Umar ibn Sa'ad of his final wills. He knew that he is not going to accomplish his request. He had one request. Finally, he said, I want you to send a messenger towards the city of Mecca and say to Abu Abdullah, Ya Hussein, do not come to Kufa, as the people of Kufa have sold you to Bani Umayyah. He looked towards Mecca and he placed his hand on his chest and he said, Assalamu alayka ya Aba Abdullah, ya ibn Rasulullah, irji' la ta'ti ila al-Kufa. They ordered wanted to behead Muslim, they beheaded Muslim, and they threw his body from the top of Qasr al-Imar, pulling his body in the marketplaces of Kufa. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. The news reached to Abi Abdullah al-Hussein. Abi Abdullah summoned the daughter of Muslim by the name of Hamida. He placed Hamida on his lap. He started treating her as if she was an orphan. Lady Ruqayya Sukayna, looking at the scene, it remained in their minds until the day of Ashura, when they wished that their father was around to wipe his hands on top of their heads.
وسيعلم الذين ظلموا أي منقلب ينقلبون والعاقبة للمتقين. Dear brothers and sisters, that was the tragedy narrated to you by Sayyid Ali Nawab in regards to Muslim ibn Aqil and his tragedies. And what really breaks the heart is that his desperation, his desperation to tell Abi Abdullah al-Hussein not to come to Kufa because of the situation there, and that heartbreaking situation for Muslim ibn Aqil. And I pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in terms of my guest for today, that Muslim ibn Aqil is your intercessor on the Day of Judgment, Ya Allah. And in this life you are granted your hajat in the name of Muslim ibn Aqil, Safir al-Hussein, the ambassador of Imam al-Hussein. Inshallah, brothers and sisters, we will see you in the next episode of Verses of Love tomorrow night, 11:30 p.m. UK time, live from London. And with that, inshallah, we bid you good night or good afternoon, depending on where you are in the world. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Join us for Verses of Love, the Husseini Kids edition, during the first 10 nights of Muharram.
Only on Imam Hussein TV.
Stay, you leave her to cry and well. Stay, you leave her to cry and well, my son.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والعن أعداءهم. In the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. My dear brothers and sisters, respected viewers, welcome to Karbala. Welcome to land of Hussein. Welcome to land of Abbas. Welcome to land of love. And inshallah, this night, once again, we are here to serve you and to give you the great opportunity to be Za'ar of Abu Abdullah al-Hussein alayhi salam here in this studio. Brother Abu Talib and I, we're trying to give you the best opportunity, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Abu Talib.
Assalamu alaikum, Abu Mustafa. Assalamu alaikum, dear viewers of Imam Hussein TV 3, and welcome to Karbala. The show is yours, the land is yours, and the Imam is yours. Pick up the phone and give us a call to perform a live ziyarah with Imam al-Hussein alayhi salam.